day, guys. Alright, today we want to look at Excel exercise where we want to discuss a simple document from Microsoft Word which consists of the tasks that's to be done, and we're going to look at how we could simulate it in Microsoft Excel. So let's just look at the Microsoft task that is here. Okay, so the task to be done in Microsoft Excel looks at a election exercise. In this election exercise, we have 4 parties to contest this election. And the 4 parties are the Democratic Action Party, DAP, WNA, UPM, PDR. So we have 4 parties that we're working with. From these 4 parties, it said that the spreadsheet is to design to accept data from 7 constituencies. So you are required in task 1 to design a spreadsheet with the below table in sheet 1. So inside of a spreadsheet there are different sheets. So on sheet 1 you are going to design this document or this set of information that we have here. So we have 7 constituency. We are using north, south, east, west, northwest, southwest, and east central. The percentage voter turnout for each of the 7 constituencies is in a decimal form. For north is 0.75, south 0.85, east 0.9, etc. So we are going to first look at putting in task 1 in Microsoft Excel. So I have already opened Microsoft Excel here, and let us go to sheet 1. So on sheet 1 it should have constituency and percentage voter turnout. So you can go ahead and type exactly what you see as here in the Microsoft Word document. So we can look at that here. So I have preloaded mine quick and fast. So we have north, south, east, west. So let me give them all the same size. So we can increase the size by highlighting all the text, go to font, and we can set all the size to be the same, 14. Just to let you can see the text clear. So on sheet 1, notice we have sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3. So sheet 1, as was said earlier, and we're supposed to insert all of this information on sheet 1. Let us go back to the exercise. So we could say that task 1 is completed. Let us go down. It says using another worksheet. So we are going to use another sheet. We are going to design a table to record the constituency that is here. So in each column, because it's going to be look like a table, so in each column we are going to have constituency, number of voters, votes cast, candidate's name, candidate rating, and party. So we have 6 columns that we're going to work with. So let's just go back to Excel and we select sheet 2 because we're in another sheet. So we're going to select sheet 2. And here you would have constituency, number of voters, votes cast, first name, last name. So we can use first name and last name to split as the candidate name. Or we could just do one where we have just the candidate name with representing first and last name there. So I am using the candidate name that is separated as first name and last name. Right? It is also good when you are sorting documents that we could sort by last name or sort by a different field name. And then we have the candidate rating and the party. parties. Notice that we are working with 4 parties: DAP for short, WNA, UPM, and PDR. You could also write the entire name if you want to go into the cell here, but we are using the abbreviated format here. I have also preloaded a set of names here in the name columns. So I'm going to look at the first constituency, and for the first constituency I am using East, and notice East represent the 4 parties. So also I have the 4 names. The 4 parties, 4 names, and notice for us to fill out the number of voter column. To fill out the number of voter column, it says here the number of voters in a constituency ranges from 6,250 to 10,000. So we have a range, so you can select a number between 6,000 or you could start from 6,250 to 10,795. So you can use a range of numbers. Here we selected a range 8,900. So everybody in East right here, so for the first 4 names would get 8,900. So let me just remove and see how best we could help you. So notice if I type 8,009 here, I could use this little box which is known as your fill handle to copy down and to get the same, to fill the cells there. Now the candidate rating, how did we get the candidate rating values here? It says that the candidate rating value, the rating assigned to a candidate are 15, 20, 30, and 35. These ratings were determined by the results of a recent poll conducted in each constituency by a pollster. It says each candidate in a given constituency has a unique rating. So unique rating is saying that no 2 candidates can have the same rating value. So that is why one candidate from this party will have 20, one will have 35, one will have 30, one will have 15, which would represent a total of 100% there. Now, if you fill out constituency, number of voters, first name, last name, candidate rating, party, all that is left for us to do is a calculation to determine the votes cast. It says here on the paper votes cast. It says votes cast, use the percentage voter turnout data to determine the number of votes cast. It says the number of voters times the person, and uses for times they're using asterisk in Excel, is times the percentage voter turnout. Now the percentage voter turnout is on a different sheet. It is on sheet 1, while the number of voters is on sheet 2. So let us look at it. So sheet 1 consists of the percentage voter turnout. On sheet 2 we have the number of voters here. So if we are going to write a formula, notice in Excel we use formulas to do calculation, and remember that every formula must start with a equal sign, right? And because in each cell there is a different set of data, we are going to have to introduce the absolute cell reference as part of the formula. So let us look at what it is first. It says an absolute cell reference is designated in a formula by the addition of a $ before the column and the row value, right? So it says A represents the column and the 2 is going to represent the row. So we will put a dollar sign before those. So this will represent our genuine format depending on which column you are working with. And if we are not using the dollar sign, then we consider that to be our relative cell reference with no dollar sign. And this purpose is to freeze the value in a particular cell. So let us look at this now. So if I want to calculate the first votes cast that is here, let me bring up these values a little bigger. If I want to find the votes cast in this first constituency here, let us shade out this area so I can focus on it. So I just use fill colors so you can fill in a section there. I can add borders to border up the work. So for the votes cast here, I am using the number of voters, and on sheet 1 I am using the value that is here. So let's just look at how we could write a formula for that. Every formula must start with an equal sign. So we start to put in the equal sign. So it starts as equal, and I want to use the voters, number of voters, or we could start at the percentage voter turnout, which is on sheet 1 in column B, and it is in row 4. Note it says sheet 1 with the asterisk and the column and the row number. So we could copy that so it says equal sheet 1 asterisk B4. So we are using the value from sheet 1 in column B row 4, which represents the percentage voter turnout for East. That is going to be then multiplied, and we're using asterisk to multiply, times, and we are using the first value, which is in B2, and we press enter, and that is how we calculate the first value. Now we can use the fill handle to copy down the values in the other remaining cells there. And notice when we copy down the value, the absolute cell reference was not used in the cell. So notice what happens here. We have a different set of values. Notice in each cell it changes. So we have to go back to the first formula and add the dollar sign before and after. Press enter in the first one, then we go back and then we copy down the data. Notice it freezes, so we have one set of calculation for the one constituency there, right? So if I am going to look at another constituency, Northwest, and I select 10,006 as the number of voters, I would copy the value for the remaining persons. To write the formula, I am going to use the sheet where it belongs. So it's on sheet 1. Northwest is in percentage is in B6. So I would go back, start my formula, and say equal sheet 1 exclamation sign. That says that the value is on sheet 1, and we are using absolute cell reference. So we say dollar sign B $, and we look back to verify the number. It is in 6, row 6. So we go again. It is equal sheet 1 exclamation sign $, B $6. That is representing the value on sheet 1. We use the asterisk now to multiply the value that is now in B6 here. So B6, and then we press enter, and then we just copy the fill handle here. Now if you want now to determine the same parties again, we could copy, paste, going down. To determine the candidate rating, you assign randomly. So I could give this one 20, I could give this one 15, I could give this one 30, and I give the last one 35. Now we are going to have to do this for 28. So it's 7 constituencies. So if in one constituency you have 4 parties, that's going to be 4 times 7, 28 set of cells that you need to fill out. So if I select another constituency, say I am doing Southwest, I'm going to use 4 Southwest going down. Then I'm going to use 4 parties over here going down. You're going to fill in the candidate rating, fill in their name, and select the number of voters and assign the votes cast. That would complete all of 1 to 6. Then it says you must enter data for each 7 constituency. That's what we were doing here. So you must do that for all 7. Then it says that we are supposed to rename the worksheet as election data and save the spreadsheet as elections. So if we go back, sheet 2, we can right click, select rename, and we type in election data, and then the spreadsheet is going to be saved as elections, and you go to file, save as, save the spreadsheet as election, save it to your documents, you click save. So continue guys to fill out this information. Continue constituencies going down, make up your number of voters, calculate the votes cast, fill in the first name, the candidate rating, and the party, and then we'll look at another exercise in some other time. Thank you.